Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Thursday, January the 18th. Welcome to our video commentary. Today, I want to talk a little bit about DACA, the complications of DACA. And I have a post coming out about this hopefully on Friday morning. And I'm talking a little bit about the way the media covers this whole story. And there's a tendency on the part of the media to cover this story as simply an issue between Democrats and Republicans, when in fact it's a lot more complicated than that. I think this whole debate over DACA, as we will see over the next few days, assuming that the Democrats are in fact going to shut down the government over DACA, I don't think they will, but assuming they do. This whole debate really, I think, highlights differences in both parties, not just one party versus another. For example, on the Democrat side, most of the Democrats obviously support some kind of a legalization for DACA. But when you get out of the cities, when you get into some of the big states, some of the rural states, some of the central states like West Virginia, Missouri, Indiana, North Dakota, Montana, then it becomes a totally different debate. Then you start hearing some of these Democrat senators talking a lot more about border security, because for them, that's important back home. In fact, the senator of Montana, Senator Tester, who's a Democrat who was elected in 2008, he voted against the DREAM Act in 2010 when it came up to a vote in the U.S. Senate. So my point is that this is not just simply Democrats versus Republicans, as the media, or some in the media, try to present it. This is really more, I think, a challenge between, let's say, people in rural areas. If you represent a rural district, you're going to have a hard time voting for DACA. But on the other hand, if you represent a district maybe in one of the larger cities, you're more likely to be a Democrat, therefore you're more likely to support DACA. But to simply make it a Democrat versus Republican issue, I don't think it does the issue any good. Now, my position has always been that I'm willing to support some type of a legalization. Not all of these dreamers are going to be legalized, because you have to have some criteria, of course, as to how many years they've been here, what they're doing right now. Obviously, if you have a criminal record, you're not going to qualify. But if you're in school or you're serving in the military and you have an interest in staying in the United States and you've been out of trouble, I don't have a problem giving you some kind of legalization. Now, that does not mean a path to citizenship. That does not mean that you can sponsor your parents who are also in the country illegally. It simply means that you are going to have a legalization, some kind of a document that allows you to work here and stay here and not be deported, as could happen if you don't have some kind of documentation. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with giving some of these so-called dreamers something like that. But that I would only approve that if there is a package that enhances border security, a fence in certain parts. A fence, from one side to the other, it probably doesn't make any sense. From, let's say, Laredo, Texas to San Diego, that fence probably doesn't make sense across 2,000 miles. But there are certain parts where it could make sense. I also think the fence would actually be very helpful for Mexico, because one of the problems Mexico is having right now is guns going south and cash going south, cartel cash going south. Of course, our problem is the drugs coming north. So I think the border fence could be helpful in that respect. I think you also need to have E-Verify so that employers know who they're hiring. And I think the message has to go out to employers and to people that if you work in the United States, you have to be legal, and you as an employer will be held accountable for not hiring somebody who's here legally. And for people who want to come to the United States, the message has to be very clear that you have to come legally to the United States. You simply cannot run over here and then expect to be legalized later, because that's not going to happen. So there is a way to do this, as I say, a combination of some humanity and legalize some of these people, but at the same time, some tough border security. There is a way to do it. There's a way to do it. But I think for me, the most difficult part is watching this debate, and sometimes watching it how the media covers it. And the media presents it very much as one party versus another, and that's not the case at all when it comes to this very complicated issue. Thank you for watching. We have all of these over at my YouTube page. We also have him on Twitter, and we also have him on my blog. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.